As opening day 2010 involves the San Francisco Giants, who won 88 games last year, and the Houston Astros, who are resurgent under a brand new manager, Brad Mills, some new coaches, some new players, and each team gets a fresh start before Game 1 of 162. Bill Brown and Jim Deshaies to watch it. This is some kind of a spectacle. Opening day, JD.
Well, Brownie, we talk about it all year long, about what a long grind it is, and it's a marathon, not a sprint, and all these cliches, but there's something special about opening day. I don't know about you, but winter was harsh for me. I'm tired of throwing sheets on my plants and wrapping my pipes. I'm looking forward to some more.
Space shuttle crew throughout the first pitch. When they opened the Astrodome in 1965, we had the first crew. So there's a lot of tradition there, but we're really excited about our team. Brad Mills is our new manager. He has interjected a lot of confidence, and the players are really enthusiastic.
And, of course, the festivities have been going on all day long. I know you started out early. The optimism surrounding this team is just incredible. And once again, we applaud you for that, and thank you so much for stopping by.
Well, thank you for being here, and this is just the beginning of a lot of good things that are going to happen this year.
And we look forward to it, guys.
Thanks, Patty. The sellout crowd anticipating a marvelous pitching matchup. Sometimes it does not materialize, but Tim Lincecum and Roy Oswalt have all the credentials in the world.
Right, everybody's optimistic on opening day, but these two guys can make hitters feel pretty pessimistic. You got Tim Lincecum, back-to-back Cy Young Award winner in 08 and 09, and then Roy Oswalt trying to bounce back after a rough year last year.
Kind of a matchup, and everybody, of course, has been anticipating this except the hitters, as JD mentioned. So we hope you'll stay with us as opening day comes to the first pitch in just a moment or two. Stay tuned. by the Progressive Insurance Group and by Southwest Airlines. A gorgeous spring day. Temperatures probably pushing high 70s right now. Former President George H.W. Bush and Barbara, who was recently out of the hospital, are in their seats. And the Astros take the field. First game under Brad Mills, the new skipper, who certainly has paid his dues. 11 years as a minor league manager, 11 years as a major league coach, coming from the Boston Red Sox, where he was the bench coach for Terry Francona. They have exchanged pleasantries after the Red Sox win last night over the Yankees, and now it's time for Brad Mills to manage. He has set a nice tone throughout spring training, JD.
Yeah, you get the sense that Brad is very excited about this opportunity and about this night, but you don't get the sense that he's nervous at all. I mean, I think he feels like he is well prepared for this job and just anxious to get rolling. And to a man during spring training, everybody on this club that I talked to just really enjoying playing for Brad Mills. They really like his approach.
Bruce Bochy, the former Astros catcher, has put together this lineup for the Giants tonight. Aaron Rowan leads.
Day start for Roy Oswalt. You take a look at his career numbers: 271 starts. He's won 137 ball games, 3.23 ERA. Lifetime against the Giants, 5-5. He pitched once against them last year. It was a dandy. 8 innings of one-run baseball. Roy having a little bit of a back issue in spring training. Came home, got a shot, and from that point forward, it was in all systems go.
Last year in the opener against the Chicago Cubs here, Alfonso Soriano hit a leadoff homer off Roy. And he now gets the opening day assignment, trying to beat this Giants club, which was a strong one last year, with Aaron Rowan, who has some sock as the leadoff man. He belted 15 homers, drove in 64 last year with a 261 average. Little bouncer up the middle, Tommy Manzella gets a throw off, and it's one pitch, one out for Roy Oswalt. Here's a look at the Astros behind Roy Oswalt. It's Michael Bourne in center field.
Better this year, especially with that new look left side of the infield.
Edgar Renteria takes a 94-mile-per-hour heater. There's strike one to Renteria. The experienced shortstop, 34 years old. Last year, he drove in 48 runs. He was a 288 lifetime hitter. Good movement there for Roy under the hands of Renteria, and it's 0-2.
And 94 with real good run there. Watch the late movement. Making this opening day start, he's a little jittery out there, you have to figure.
Curve is wide, and it's 1-2. Roy's curveball much more polished than it was a year ago. Renteria 250 last season, but 288 lifetime. He's a 5-time All-Star. Roy seemed to be sidetracked by the World Baseball Classic last season and was not in top form in spring training. And he's done a different type of conditioning work over the winter because of the back problem that forced him onto the disabled list at the end of last season. He's not really running anymore, not on that type of a conditioning program for his aerobic work, but doing more work in the pool and strengthening his core muscles.
He could come to class with me. I've been going to core class. We'll put him on the big ball.
Yeah. That's in the air toward Bourne in center for the second out. As J.D. mentioned, Roy is 5-5 lifetime against this San Francisco team. Here at Minute Maid Park, his record is a spectacular 75-25 for a 2.80 ERA. That's the best winning percentage of any active pitcher with 70 decisions. And in his career on opening day, 2-3 with a 3.35 ERA.
Well, if he manages to win tonight and pick up the W, he will move ahead of Larry Dierker into second place on the Astros all-time win list. And Joe Niekro with 144 out in front.
Sandoval, the Kung Fu Panda, has been labeled 25 homers, 90 runs batted in, a .330 batting average for this 23-year-old player from Venezuela last year. And he swings at a lot of pitches that are marginal off the plate, but he can hit the bad balls very well.
Yeah, and he does draw a decent amount of walks, not a ton, but he hits for such a high average. He ends up having a high on-base percentage. He's one of those nose-to-toes guys. He sees it, he's hacking.
Had the second best average in the National League last year. Time called, and Sandoval, one of the mainstays offensively for this Giant club this year.
He led them in just about everything last season.
Curve floats, and he takes it for ball two. 2 balls and a strike. Sandoval hit a homer this spring off Carlos Zambrano, the fellow Venezuelan. And he's late on the fastball, which Roy put in a great spot.
Again, you see the late life. Of course, against Roy.
3 balls, 2 strikes. Aubrey Huff is on deck. The Giants played an exhibition game yesterday at AT&T Park in San Francisco. They were the only team other than their opponent Seattle to play an exhibition game yesterday. They arrived in town about 10 o'clock last night. They have really played well against the Astros. They're 42-24 against the Astros since 2000. And their record at Minute Maid Park is a glittering 23-12. In the air to center field, a curveball that hung, but nonetheless, the speed of it is what got out number 3 for Roy Oswalt. And a 1-2-3 first. Astros up in a moment. Two Cy Young Awards. Michael.
$11, $170 they list him at, but he's got a big right arm. Cy Young Award winner last year, as we mentioned a couple of times. Last 2 years, as a matter of fact, the numbers last year glittering. Look at those punch-outs. 261 strikeouts in 225 and a third innings. The league hit a paltry 206 off Tim.
Michael Bourne will be the first man to face him. Bruce Bochy's club had a very good year last year, staying in the hunt until the late stages. Bourne, 285 last season. Up the middle, off the mound, backhanded, and Uribe makes a good play. 1 pitch, 1 out for both pitchers in this game.
Yeah, I think with the guys on the mound, as good as they are and the way they attack the strike zone, the hitters are up there thinking, I'm going to take a whack at the first good one I see for fear of falling behind in the count. bats and let him hang around a little bit longer than you might like.
Kazuo Matsui's the batter. For those of you who are particular in the way you keep score, Lincecum was ruled to have gotten his glove on that one for a 1-4-3 play. 250 for Matsui last year with 9 homers. It's 1-1. Kazuo had a nice spring, hitting .293. Scored 17 runs to lead the Grapefruit League in runs scored. Two balls and a strike. Tim Lincecum, a first-round draft choice, the 10th player drafted in the 06 season, just 25 years old. Gets a late swing there, and the count goes to 2-2.
And there's where he ranked last year in the National League. Second in batting average against, tied for fourth in wins, first in strikeouts, second in ERA, third in innings pitched.
This is his second career opening day start. And he gets a foul ball there. Well, apparently not. We thought so, but it was a strikeout, and that's out number 2.
Slider or cut fastball, perhaps.
Gets the heater. There's strike one. Hunter had his usual fabulous spring training. After a 25 home run season last year, he hit .373 this spring and drove in 18. No balls, 2 strikes to Hunter Pence, an all-star last year for the Astros. He is 2 for 11 in his career against Lincecum. And it's time to battle now at 0-2 in the count. Rolled off his foot out to the pitcher. Tim Welke's the home plate umpire.
Indeed, no balls, 2 strikes against a guy like Lincecum. Battle becomes the strategy for the hitter. Just try to be real quick with the bat, short stroke. Don't try to load up and take a big aggressive swing. Hunter may have choked up a little bit extra on the bat here.
He's had nothing but good springs since joining the Astros. The type of player who runs at a high revolution rate, even for game 1 of spring training. It doesn't really matter to him. He's just ready to compete and start playing baseball. Carlos Lee's on deck. And the breaking ball gets a swing and a miss. Molina with a throw to first for a 1-2-3 first for Lincecum. 0-0 after 1.
Complete game, opening day win over the Dodgers. Astros breaking out the orange and blue for the first time, and it could be a good luck charm. But that complete game on opening day, you don't see too many of those this day and age.
You would have a story if you saw one of those, although both these pitchers tonight certainly are capable of joining that elite club. Harvey Huff, who briefly joined the Astros in a midseason 06 trade to finish out the 2 months of that year, has joined the Giants now as a free agent and looking at strike one. He's coming off a .310 batting average this spring with 3 homers, 12 runs batted in. After a 15 home run season, 85 runs batted in last year for Huff.
And the Giants really struggled, as did the Astros last year, scoring runs. The difference being that the Giants really pitched well, and that's why they won 88 ball games. So they tried to improve a little bit offensively. They feel like Huff will help. Man on deck, Mark DeRosa also brought in to provide a little run production.
Those moves warranted, trying to bolster an offense that was 13th in the National League in runs scored and dead last with a .309 on base average. Worst in the majors since 03. On through on the ground into right field for an Harvey Huff single. Well, Huff, who began his career with Tampa Bay, moved along to Houston, Baltimore, Detroit. Now gets a hit for his brand new club.
Off-speed pitch. Brian Sabian smiling. What a deal.
Yeah. And he's hoping to be smiling about this one, too. The addition of Mark DeRosa. There's 23 homers, 78 runs batted in for Cleveland, and St. Louis gave him a good year last year. Fastball good for strike one to the 35-year-old veteran, the former University of Pennsylvania quarterback.
DeRosa with outstanding numbers against Roy Oswalt. 13 out of 27. That's a .481 batting average.
It's a 1-ball, 1-strike count. Molina's on deck. Oswalt faced the Astros in an opener in the 04 season. Here got a no decision, facing Kirk Reeder that year. 13 hits for DeRosa, as JD mentioned, against Oswalt.
Probably gets all kinds of text messages from guys around the league saying, hey, what's your game plan against Roy?
In that game in 04, when Roy pitched the opener, he had a 4-1 lead against the Giants in the 7th inning, and Barry Bonds tied it on a 3-run homer. Roy got a no decision that day. Now the count goes to 3-1 on DeRosa. Giants have had the Astros number in opening day games. The Giants 6-1 against Houston in the openers.
And yet we continue to schedule them. We'll play Abilene Christian or something like that.
Runner going, this one up the right field line, headed for the corner. It's slicing and it's foul. Tim Timmons with the foul indicator after Mark DeRosa came close to an extra base hit into the corner.
Well, you talked about the Giants' deficiencies offensively, and you mentioned their low on-base percentage last year. It's not likely to change a whole lot. They didn't have that much turnover in their lineup, but I think Huff and DeRosa, two guys that give you a little bit better at bat, a little more professional approach, work some deeper counts.
In DeRosa, the Giants signed somebody who can play anywhere on the field. Huff was setting sail on that last pitch, so they check him with a throw over to Jeff Blum. Lance Berkman got quite an ovation when he was introduced, joining his teammates on the foul lines, even though as the season opens he is on the disabled list. After left knee surgery, and the knee has swollen, he's had to have it drained 4 times since the surgery. Runner going again on 3-2, and it's a walk to DeRosa. The first 2 men reach for Molina now.
Roy, when he gets back into the corner, typically tries to beat a hitter with his fastball, but I think out of deference to DeRosa because of the good numbers he's put up against him, he tried to fool him there with a changeup, and then DeRosa able to disregard it and draw the walk.
Bengie Molina returning after turning free agent. He drove in 80 runs with 20 homers and a .265 batting average, but according to reports, he wanted a 3-year deal. The Giants were considering moving in another direction. They looked at Buster Posey this spring, but settled on a 1-year deal prior to that with Molina. And with his credentials, they brought back a solid RBI man and a good catch.
Crisp 95 at the knees right there from Moyne. He's thinking double play here with Molina. He's one of the slowest guys in the league. He might be one of the slowest guys in the ballpark, including the fans. I mean, he can't run a leg.
That's saying something, but you could be right with that statement.
Get that runner in under his thumbs.
Yeah. Fights it off, and it snowballs 2 strikes. John Bowker on deck.
He doesn't get paid to run. He paid to squat and throw and drive in runs, and he does a pretty good job at that. He's been doing it for a long time.
Yep. One of 3 catching Molina brothers from Puerto Rico.
Brother Yadier hit a grand slam today. It'd be tough to beat Molina of the day.
Yeah. Line shot left field corner. Huff will turn third and come in to make it 1-0. DeRosa goes to third base. On a long RBI single by Molina.
The new guys pay off for the Giants. Huff singles, DeRosa walks, and then the veteran Giant Molina drives one home. We're going to be able to contemplate too.
John Bowker looks at the curve. There's ball 1. Bowker hitting .312 this spring with 6 homers, 23 runs batted in. Won the right field job from Nate Shearholz. Bowker, 26 years old. He had just 67 at-bats with the Giants last season, hitting .194, but he hit .342 at AAA Fresno. 2-0. And Bruce Bochy said it wasn't only the power with the 6 home runs that he showed this spring, putting him on this club, but also just the good knowledge of the strike zone, the excellent at-bats he had. He has a college pedigree, Long Beach State, and he was roommate of Troy Tulowitzki at Long Beach State. Coaching his 15th consecutive year as a major league manager. He signed a 2-year contract extension with the Giants after last season. To left field, Carlos Lee backing up. Runner at third is tagging. Now Carlos looks to the wall, and the run will score. He'll throw into second base. Another long single to left, and it's 2-0 Giants. Bowker drives in a run going the other way.
Good approach there by the left-hander hitting Bowker to shoot that ball the other way. Ball carrying pretty well to the left. There was some discussion during BP today as to whether
new pitching coach Brad Arnsberg has made a trip to the mound. 2-0 with a pitcher the caliber of Tim Lincecum going against the Astros. They're aware that a crooked number could be fatal in a game like this. Although it's tough to use that word in connection with a baseball game. Now here's Uribe.
Especially on opening day when we're so full of optimism, Brownie.
As far as this game is concerned, Uribe, 16 homers, 55 runs batted in, had a .289 average last year, and he returned as a free agent. That one goes to right field. Hunter Pence backing into the shade. Both runners will tag. And Molina waltzes home to make it 3-0 on a sac fly by the number 8 hitter, Uribe. Three singles and a walk, and then a sac fly have the Giants very much in the driver's seat early at 3-0.
Just one out now. Lincecum up there with an opportunity to push Bowker into scoring position.
Lincecum gets it down and is tagged out by Blum on the sacrifice. 2 outs, Bowker to second. Barry Zito and Wandy Rodriguez will pitch tomorrow night. That's a 7:05 start. Wednesday we have a 1:05 game to wrap up the series. Matt Cain going against Brett Myers in that one. Aaron Rowan led off the game with a grounder to shortstop. 8 straight opening day starts for Roy Oswalt. There are special emotions, of course, involved in pitching this particular game for any team. Strike to Rowan.
And that extends his own club record. Shane Reynolds, J.R. Richard, Mike Scott all had 5 consecutive opening day starts.
He had tightness in his left hamstring in his appearance March 26th in spring training against the Pirates. Returned to Houston, got an injection in the back. And he pitched in a minor league game March 31st in Kissimmee. He threw 81 pitches in that one. And he felt that he would be able to go up to 100 pitches tonight if needed. Manzella moves to his right. And that's the 3rd out, but the Giants cash in with a 3 spot. On 3 hits, they leave a man. Giants 3, Astros nothing.
Astros 0 and follow the Astros on your iPhone, iPod Touch, BlackBerry, and Android phone with MLB.com at Bat 2010, featuring play-by-play, video highlights, and live audio broadcasts. Visit Astros.com today on your iPhone, iPod Touch, Android, or BlackBerry for more details. And if you were watching earlier, you saw the astronauts of the STS-130 throwing out the first pitch. Joining me now is the commander, George Zamka. And George, I know that was a thrill for your crew.
Yeah, it really was. We've been practicing this week just to make sure we got it into the leather on the first try, and it's a very special town and a special relationship between this baseball team and the astronauts and the men and women. Essentially, so we wanted to make sure we had it right. Now keep the knees flexed and get a little hip action and make sure you get it on over.
Well, you did a great job. Now, you were the last crew to come back from the space station, and I know you inserted or installed a window to the world. Tell us a little bit about that.
We did. It's about 10 feet wide and about 5 feet tall. It's a big bay window. It's got 6 windows around the side, one big one up on the top. and it sits on the underside of the space station. So when you are in it, you can look all around the Earth itself, and you can see the horizon. You can look back at the space station and see all the visiting rockets and spaceships that are coming there. It's a really great view.
That's awesome, and I know that you guys were the last ones up. I know another crew went up this morning. We appreciate all that you guys do and appreciate the great relationship you have with the Astros.
It's great to live and work here in Houston. This is a wonderful hometown for us.
All right, thanks so much. Guys?
Thanks, Patty. 2 outs now for Lincecum. He got Carlos Lee on a pop to second, and then the ground ball to third by Jeff Blum. Pedro Feliz, the former Giant, comes up, a popular player. He's waving over to his former teammates as they were standing on opposite foul lines before the game. 12 homers for the Phillies last year for Feliz, 82 runs batted in, a .266 average. And he had a very good spring training, hitting .356. Feliz signing as a free agent with the Astros to a 1-year deal with an option. Draws a lot of rave reviews from people in the Giants organization just for his approach to the game. He's the same guy every day, whether he drove in 8 runs the day before or went 0 for 4.
Yeah, he's the reputation is just a real professional, good, solid approach day in and day out. Outstanding glove man, one of the best in the business.
Popped out of play. And Feliz taking over at third. Jeff Blum and Jeff Keppinger shared that position last year. And now, in the scheme of things, it'll be Blum getting some playing time at first base and other positions as well. And apparently, we could see Chris Johnson starting at third, with Feliz at first come tomorrow night against the lefty. First base hit for an Astro comes from new Astro, Pedro Feliz in 2010. A single through the left side.
Good job, Eddie. Good signing.
J.R. Tolles the batter. 289 this spring, 3 runs batted in for the 26-year-old native of Crosby, Texas. And that one's hooking foul. JR's been nursing a hamstring strain, but wouldn't have missed this first opening day start. He hit only 188 last year, had just 48 at-bats with the Astros, and that's his career Major League average, 188 for 234 at-bats in the big leagues.
Obviously a critical time for J.R. Tolles in his career, at least his career with the Astros. Jason Castro's knocking on the door. Young catching prospect will start the year with the AAA club. J.R., who's put up very good numbers as a minor league hitter. If he can figure it out at the big league level, he could keep Jason at bay for a while.
Hits this one toward the right field corner. Dowker running back deeper and deeper and gloves it. Just barely fair for the third out. No runs a hit and a man stranded after 2. It's 3-0 Giants. few months. Time to renew friendships.
Yeah. Charlie Kerfeld in the dining room tonight?
Yes, he was. Ball one to Edgar Renteria. Charlie, a member of the Phillies Brain Trust, and they're the next team into town. Renteria hit a fly ball to center. It's 2 balls, no strikes. Sandoval and Huff to follow. There's
Big Chuck.
It's got to flash you back to 1986, JD.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, opening day 1986 provided quite a surprise in the Astrodome. There's the flag from the NL West champions, but it did not start well that year in the opener. Nolan Ryan and the Astros losing to Mike Krukow and the Giants. Will Clark on his first major league swing hitting a home run. And Will the Thrill had arrived. There's your 4-pitch walk.
You get to be Will the Thrill when you take Nolan deep in your first major league swing. I mean, that's a legend was born in San Francisco. You know, that 86 Astros club was picked by many to finish 5th out of a 16 division. We ended up winning the division. A lot of folks are not very high on this 2010 Astros club. You just never know. Guys have career years. You get unexpected contributions from some of the younger guys.
You're right. A lot of things can turn based on what those predictions look like right now. Pablo Sandoval hit a fly ball on a 3-2 pitch, first time up. And Mike Krukow was recalling that game before batting practice tonight. He said, you know, I always struggled to beat the Astros, and we're facing Ryan, and he said in the Astrodome, that dome mound seemed like it was about 10 feet tall, with Nolan throwing right downhill at the hitters. And then Clark took him deep. And he said he got back to the dugout, and we were all just in amazement. He said he had hit a home run in his first professional swing at A-ball the year before. And then in spring training that year, he did the same thing. And then his first at-bat in a regular season game, he did the same thing, and we're all just standing there with our mouths agape. And he looked at us and said, what, you expected me to strike out? And they all said, yeah.
Never lacking in confidence, Will.
Shot over short. That's a hit into left field. And Sandoval's aboard. Runners at first and second. Nobody out for Aubrey Huff now.
That Hayward kid for the Braves went deep in his first at bat today. Jason Hayward, the young phenom for Atlanta.
He could be another Will Clark type guy.
Yeah, well, from what you hear, he could be another Ted Williams type guy. My goodness, the reports in spring training are glowing.
Now the Giants stir up trouble after putting together 3 singles and a walk, a sac fly in the last inning. Aubrey Huff got it started with a single to right field.
Yeah, Roy Stuff looks pretty good here tonight. The breaking ball has been a little bit inconsistent. The fastball command is probably not what he would like.
Huff grounds, double play ball here. Matsui to Manzella. Good block.
That'll help.
Renteria to third, 2 outs.
Good way to clean it up. This Giant club does not have a lot of team.
And it's a one-hopper to Oswalt for the third out. No runs a hit. The Giants started well, but then Oswalt got the big double play ball and the comebacker to keep it at 3-0 Giants.
scored 16 today. The Pirates, the Cardinals, and the Phillies all scored 11.
That's impressive against the opening day pitching.
Wow. And the weather was warmer, too. That usually keeps the offense down. It's usually cold early, but it's pretty warm.
Strike to Tommy Manzella. You saw the 244 spring average. That included a ball that he hit in his final at-bat Saturday in that game here against the Blue Jays off the wall in right field. And he felt good as his family's here watching tonight about playing those 2 games at shortstop Friday night, Saturday afternoon. There you see that scoreboard with the double digits. And all 4 of those winning teams on that side of the scoreboard. That is somewhat unusual for opening day.
Yeah, that's some abuse. Some starting pitchers got abused. Carlos Zambrano gave up, 8 earnings in an inning plus?
Yes. Manzella pops it up. Renteria underneath. Manzella said he had time in those 2 games to get used to playing shortstop on this infield. Didn't have many opportunities to play short last September when he was with the Astros.
Well, it's interesting because we talked about it earlier. The Astros up against some real good pitching the first couple weeks of the season, and I was talking with Sean Barry in spring training, and he said he really wants to make sure he talks a lot to Tommy Manzella if he goes through a little bit of a tough stretch. Hey, you're up against some of the best in the business. Don't get down.
Strike to Oswalt.
A young hitter who feels like he's under a certain amount of pressure to perform early on. Might get a little down on himself if he goes for an 0-for-9 stretch or something.
Harvey Huff. That's good. Out number 2. Yep. See that happening.
And you're up against the likes of Lincecum and Kane and Halladay and Wainwright and Carpenter, or whoever we run into in these first couple of weeks. It's going to be a lot of guys taking over.
Well, this is the 4th time it's been Lincecum versus Oswalt. First time they met was a dandy in May of 2007 here. It was a 2-1 12-inning win for the Astros. Neither pitcher around then. Let's look at Michael Bourne's hot zone. Right down the middle. He hits 405.
Yeah.
Don't want to throw it there. Would you want to throw it there against any hitter?
Well, there used to be a theory with Tony Gwynn.
Oh, yeah.
It was so hard to get out. Just throw it over the middle of the plate and let him hit it. So instead of using all these pitches, he's going to hit a line drive anyway.
Well, you hear people say sometimes about a bad ball hitter like maybe Sandoval or Vladimir Guerrero. Go ahead and throw it down the middle. He hits all the bad balls. Maybe he won't be expecting it there. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
And the reality is, most guys hit for pretty good average anywhere on the plate. You get your outs off the plate for the most part.
Three and 2 for Lincecum. Lincecum didn't feel good from his windup in his first start in spring training, so he abandoned that windup and threw out of the stretch. Struggling with his mechanics a little bit.
The breeze is picking up out there, Brownie.
Yes, it is. Should be very pleasant in the stands right now. Might wind up with that breeze affecting a home run ball to the Crawford seats.
Michael Bourne made a
battling here and forcing Lincecum to throw a number of pitches.
The ability to let the ball travel, to get deep in the zone, hit it the other way, really paid off for him.
Pretty good wind blowing there. And a foul ball by Bourne. Yeah, this is what Michael is doing so well here with 2 outs. Not only trying to start a rally, but force Lincecum to throw more pitches. He's not been very uncomfortable so far in this game. He's given up just a single to Feliz.
He got his first 5 outs at 15 or 16 pitches.
He led the league in strikeouts with 261 last year at 225 innings. Had 4 complete games and gets a called 3rd strike to end the 3rd inning. Strikeout number 3 for Lincecum keeps the Giants in the lead 3-0.
fans than President George and Mrs. Barbara Bush are fans of the game. Opening day, always something special, isn't it?
It's an exciting day out here. Good crowd. Just hope the Astros get going here, but it's thrilled to be here. Thrilled to be in this ballpark on a night like this.
And it's great to see both of you. You're looking fabulous. I know everyone's just so happy to see you out here. You feeling good?
Yes, I feel great. Thank you.
And you're still keeping your score here.
I gave up a little bit because normally I just lost it all today.
So how many opening days is this for you guys? Have you lost track or do you remember?
Yeah, I've lost track, but I know it's fun to be here.
And did you get a chance to watch the skydivers come in?
We missed that, darn it all.
You know, I thought I saw you walking in a little late. That's usually something I can catch you doing.
We missed it, and we wanted to see the leapfrogs. I understand they were great.
They were awesome. A little scary, I've got to tell you, but that's something you know quite a bit about. When's the last jump you made?
On my 85th birthday last June.
Are you planning on going with them anytime soon?
I'm going to pick up the pieces.
All right, well, you two enjoyed the game, and thank you so much. These are our professional fans of the game.
Good luck.
All right, thank you very much, guys.
So great to see them here, as always. That's a good play by Michael Bourne in right center field on the ball hit by Molina. Covered a lot of ground in that area.
Yeah, it's a very comforting feeling for a pitcher. You give up a shot out there, and you know you got a guy like Michael Bourne who can track him down for you.
John Bowker with the RBI single to left now breaks the bat on one to right. Hunter Pence over into right center. 2 down.
Remember when we first got Michael Bourne, there was some talk about, well, he doesn't get the best reads, he doesn't take good routes. That's all gone away. He is one of the better center fielders in the game.
He's got the glove to prove it for the mantelpiece. Now, time now for our AT&T trivia question. And let's see who can get this tonight. Who's tied with Roy Oswalt for the active consecutive opening day starts? The guy who should be pitching, we think maybe Sunday. It hasn't been officially announced. Right here against the Astros. Uribe just took strike one. That'll be Roy Halladay of the Phillies.
Well, 2 quick outs here in this inning. You got that big double play after first and second, nobody out. Last inning, it proved to be a real turning point in this game.
Well, you're right. Against a guy the caliber of a Lincecum, it could be vitally important to just keep this Giants club on 3 to give his offense a chance to come back. Matsui, Pence, and Lee coming up in the bottom of the 4th inning. A lot of baseball left, too.
We'll finish this guy right here. Have Lincecum do to lead off the top of the 5th. Uribe, veteran, former White Sox, did a real nice job for the Giants last year. Started the season in a utility role, but ended up being an everyday player and was one of their better offensive players.
Earlier you saw Oswalt's record against the West. Last year he was 7-0 with a 1.98 ERA against the clubs in the NL West. Off the glove of Blum. It trickles out into right field. He made the diving try to his left on a sharply hit single by Uribe.
So much for that theory about Lincecum leading off the next inning.
Yeah.
I mean, he got 7 of his 8 wins against the Western Division.
It's crazy, isn't it?
It's wacky. Stick the butt in the dugout and line one the other way.
Blum almost able to stop that one on the infield. Lincecum hit the sac bunt earlier. And there's strike one to him. He and Matt Cain, another 25-year-old Giant right-hander who's excellent. He will pitch Wednesday. Very good buddies. There have been a lot of stories written about those two because they're among the best 1-2 punches on any pitching staff in the majors right now. They're split up in the rotation now with Barry Zito going tomorrow night in Game 2. One of those stories involved the first time that they played catch with each other. They played burnout, trying to impress each other with their stuff. Dave Rigetti, the pitching coach, went out to them and said, there won't be any more of that. Find somebody else to play catch with. 2 balls and a strike, and it is a good Giant rotation with those 3, and then lefty Jonathan Sanchez, who pitched a no-hitter last year. Todd Wellemeyer's number 5. He had a good spring. Manzella tossing to Matsui, gets the force on Uribe. No runs, a hit. A Giant left. mid-4th. It's 3-0 San Francisco. Fourth inning, and we'll go back to that trivia question for you. AT&T wanted to know who's tied with Roy Oswalt for the most active consecutive opening day starts. Roy Halladay made his 8th today, and he was a winner in his Phillies debut, JD.
Yeah, the Nationals scored 1 in the first off them, and then the Phillies scored 11 unanswered runs, beat the Nationals 11-1. Roy Halladay, 7 innings, 6 hits, 1 run, walked 2, struck out 9. Welcome to the NL.
Brad Arnsberg, the new pitching coach, and Roy Oswalt talk it over. Kazuo Matsui tries to start a rally against Lincecum. And around the butt, he takes the pitch high for ball 1. Matsui struck out in the first inning. That brought Sandoval in from third base, and he's stationed on the grass right now. Huff is even with the bag at first. The bunt goes foul, and it's a 1-ball, 1-strike count. And with a guy in Lincecum who allowed a batting average of .206 against him last year, teams tend to think a little bit about small ball. He only allowed 10 homers in 225 innings. Two and one with Hunter Pence on deck. Matsui works the count to 3-1. Matsui was the leadoff man early in the season last year with Michael Bourne batting 8th. Lincecum with that 40-17 record, matched only among active pitchers by Tim Hudson at the beginning of his career. Bouncer Lincecum fields the position. 1 out.
He handles the bat well. He's just a good athlete. Can do it all. 3 years in the league, 2 Cy Young awards.
Yeah.
Back to back. It's been done by only 4 guys: Randy Johnson, Greg Maddux, Sandy Koufax, and Tim Lincecum.
That's a good play. He kept his body out of the way of it.
One of the advantages of being scrawny.
It was kind of a controversial Cy Young last fall when he won it too, JD, with Chris Carpenter and Adam Wainwright sort of canceling each other out for second and third. A lot of votes. Strike 2, Hunter Pence. And there's been a lot written about that Cy Young award with the fact that Lincecum won 15 games. His ERA was second best in the league. Led the league in strikeouts, but in wins, 15. A pretty low number for a starting pitcher winning the Cy Young award.
Maybe the voters are starting to figure it out. That wins are overrated. Analyzing starting pitching. Yeah, Hunter likes it right down the middle too. down in the weight zone, especially with a right-handed pitcher and a breaking ball. That could be a trouble spot for him. So just $174 out there.
Yeah, it seems that a lot of the metrics available to people who do the voting right now, members of the Baseball Writers Association of America, go beyond analyzing wins, go into areas like whip, walks and hits per innings pitched.
Yeah, I think when you're talking about individual awards, you want to focus on the individual performance and eliminate the team a little bit. Now, if a guy goes out and wins 25 games, it's going to open everybody's eyes. But, of course, if you win 25 games, then the other numbers are going to be very good as well.
Strikeout for Lincecum, number 4.
On Friday, it's the Astros and the Phils at 7:05. First 10,000 fans will receive a 45th anniversary cap courtesy of the Methodist Neurological Institute. After the game, of course, Friday night fireworks. Marathon Oil providing that entertainment again this year. And every Friday is Coca-Cola Value Night. 4 tickets, 4 dogs, 4 Cokes, 4 caps for $65. All the information is yours at Astros.com.
That's Bud Norris's night to pitch against the Phillies. Carlos Lee looks at strike one. He hit the first pitch on pop-up to second base in the second inning. Lee to left field. Into the corner in left field. It kicks off that wall. Carlos will be held to a long single. Hit number 2 for the Astros.
Yeah, I don't know if he could have had a double, but he was kind of watching it as he went down the line. That may have cost him any opportunity of getting to it. With 2 outs, that's a time where you want to be thinking double. I think he thought he got it. Missed it by that much, Chief.
Fan missed a fan interference call. By reaching over, unable to glove it. So Carlos picks up his first hit of 2010, and Jeff Blum gets an at-bat here after grounding out to third. Third baseman Sandoval plays him well off the line. He hit the ball, a slow bouncer in front of Sandoval earlier. Jeff 1 for 12 in his career against Lincecum. We don't have a timetable on Lance Berkman's return from the disabled list, but he was backdated on the DL, so he would be required to miss the first 4 games of the season. It doesn't seem that he could possibly be ready to come back Saturday night at this point.
No, it's very important for the Astros to get off to a good start this year, but it's not so important that you're going to force Lance or push Lance to come back if he's not ready to go. That could be catastrophic if you were to come back too early and blow that thing out.
Inside to Blum, and the count goes to 2-0. Lincecum really torques that lower body in his delivery. His father worked extensively with him on this pitching style from the time that he was a young boy. Two balls and a strike. Lincecum signed a 2-year deal during the offseason with the Giants.
Yeah, I like the way when he turns his shoulders away from home plate, he keeps his weight over his backside. That gives him a long, fluid delivery. And he uses that right arm like a whip. He gets great extension. Look how long his arm action is here. That knee back over the rubber to make sure his weight stays back long enough for his arm to catch up. And then it's full throttle. I mean,
boy, it is.
It's an explosive delivery.
That's a violent final kick toward the plate. And his heel almost touches down. He then thrusts it toward the plate. It's a very long stride for a pitcher. But it also puts him right on top of the hitter. 3 balls, 2 strikes now with 2 outs. Carlos Lee will be heading for second base on the next pitch. Lincecum really small in high school. As a freshman, he was 4'11", 85 pounds. Then he grew to 5'2" and 100 as a sophomore. Had a growth spurt after that, up to 5'8", 125 as a junior.
That's amazing.
Isn't it, though? And he was the state of Washington's high school player of the year. And drafted after high school by the Cubs in the 48th round. Went on to University of Washington. Blum fouls it, and the Astros at least are forcing Lincecum to throw a number of pitches here. He's up to 56 for the game. That's not a lot, though, for.
No, but he's working a little harder the last couple innings than he did earlier, and that could prove beneficial down the road. I'm not sure what Bruce Bochy's plan is for Lincecum tonight, how far he'll let him go, but assuming you can get into that bullpen the batter, so even if you're not putting runs on the board, if you're having some lengthy at-bats, it could prove to be a good thing.
Lee takes off, and Blum fouls it again. According to a Sports Illustrated article about Lincecum last year, JD, the normal stride length for a pitcher is, you'll love this, 77% to 87% of his height. But his stride is 129%, or about 7.5 feet.
Well, and Roy, too. Roy really gets out there and then plants that front side and uses it as leverage.
Huff tossing to the pitcher Lincecum for a 3-1 final out. No runs a hit and a man stranded after 4, 3-0 Giants. We go to Patty Smith.
Well, thanks, Bill. I'm up in General Manager Ed Wade's suite, and he's got 4 of his friends up here, the Skydivers that we were all watching in the pregame, and I know these guys are very good friends of yours. Ed, why don't you tell us who they are and what they do?
Sure. They're the X-Frogs. Nick White is the lead X-Frog, retired Navy SEAL. J.C. Ledbetter's still on the Navy Leapfrogs. He's a fast boat driver. Mark Hogue, Force Recon Marine. And Larry Barbieri is SEAL guy also, SEAL Team 5. So great Patriots, great military guys, pretty good skydivers too.
Well, and we're watching your jumps right now, and I got to tell you, my heart started racing. You guys came in awfully fast. I'm not going to point any fingers or name any names, but somebody who came in first, I think you might have maybe taken out a little bit of the field, and I think we've got a groundskeeper that might be coming to ask you a few questions.
Well, it's better to slide than to make a divot.
No qualms. You guys come down and you look like you're coming down awfully fast. Do you ever get nervous? Do you ever get scared? Or do you always know exactly what you're doing?
We always know exactly what we're doing, and we've never fallen down or anything like that.
Now, tell us a little bit about our GM here. I know this is something he likes to do as well. Has he got the skills?
Yes, he does. Man is amazing in the air. He's great until he gets about 10, 15 feet off the ground. It's the landing part that he has kind of an issue with sometimes. But besides that, he's awesome.
So you got to work on your landing?
Well, if I had a better instructor than Nick's teaching me, I probably would have been fine. If one of these guys had taught me, I'd have those landings really cleaned up. But, you're only as good as your instructor.
Well, I'm thinking next year for an opening day, what would be better than to see our own general manager come skydiving in on opening day?
Yeah, right.
All right.
I think I'm still the general manager next opening day.
All right, one thing at a time. We'll work on that, guys.
Okay, that'd be something to see. Thanks, Patty. Korea the batter. Rowan struck out for out number 1. Now it's a 1-1 count for Roy Oswalt, who gave up 3 in the Giants' second inning on 3 singles, a walk, and a sac fly. 2 balls and 1 strike. This is the difficult part of being an opening day pitcher, although as we saw that scoreboard earlier, JD, it's not holding true to form, but quite often a number 1 on your club facing a number 1 on the other club, that's tough opposition, and we do see usually a lot of low-scoring opening day games.
Yeah, I was putting the over-under at this one at about 4 runs total in about 2 hours and 10 minutes. A lot of good matchups on opening day, but boy, this one, even if I wasn't working for the Astros, this one would have piqued my curiosity. The other one I had my eye on was Verlander and Greinke over there in Kansas City. It turned into an 8-4 Tiger win, but I think they both pitched pretty well. The bullpen, the Royals got battered a little bit there.
Colorado's number 1, Ubaldo Jimenez, beat Giovanni Gallardo, the ace of the Milwaukee staff, 5-3 in that game at Milwaukee. And Zach Duke and the Pirates down the Dodgers. Vicente Padilla 11-5 in another high-scoring matchup. Juan Santana and the Mets beat Florida 7-1. On through into left field, a single for Renteria. And the former Florida Marlin is aboard. There hasn't been an extra base hit in this game. The Giants have 6 of a total of 8 hits.
Third look now for the middle of the Giant order against Roy Oswalt. Roy had 68 pitches.
Roy's 137 wins since he came into the majors in 2001. Tops among all pitchers since then. 525 for Sandoval on pitches in the middle of the plate. Takes a mighty hack, and there's strike 1. 3 hits have gone off the wall and left, so none for extra bases. And a strange kind of start to this one. J.R. Tolles with a backhanded stop. It's a 1-ball, 1-strike count.
And nice move there by J.R. Keep that double play in order. Talk about the Giants and their lack of team speed. Take them off the hook and give them a free base.
Joe Niekro with 144 wins as the all-time Houston leader. Bouncer Oswalt leads Manzella, and then on to Blum. 1-6-3 double play, the second of the game for the Astros. Keeps the score 3-0 Giants after 4.5. by Centerpoint Energy, showing you the story of this game so far. Beautiful night. Lincecum has allowed only 2 runners through 4. Oswalt gave up 3 in the second. The Astros have helped Oswalt by turning 2 double plays. And now it is still a 3-0 game as the Astros try to get things stirred up. Lincecum has been pitching very well. They did force him to throw more pitches as the game moved through the 3rd and 4th innings. And now there's ball 1 to Feliz, who singled on a 1-1 count to left field.
Hey, you know you're having a tough night offensively when you're hanging your hat on the fact that you made the guy throw more pitches to get you out. But it's legit. This kid is pretty special. But it's time for a 5th inning ambush. A little 5 in the 5th with a rally cry down in the Astros dugout.
Feliz flares one foul, and that's out of play for a 1-2 count. This ballpark opened in the year 2000. That's when the Giants' AT&T Park opened as well. 2 of the very enjoyable parks for the fans over the last decade. And the fans have flocked here. Another sellout opening day today for the Astros.
And, more baseball to come on the homestand. Big weekend series with the Phillies. A couple more with the Giants. Tickets available for all those games. Well, this is a good time to come to the ballpark. I mean, it won't be too long. We'll have to close the roof because it'll be 150 degrees out. These early season games, it's beautiful.
Feliz rocks one to center field. Aaron Rowan heading back with a long run for Rowan, back on the warning track. Rowan makes a retreating catch about 390 feet away on a long out number 1.
He's been pointing out to a center fielder, acknowledging that fine play. Drew an early beat on it.
J.R. Tolles backed up the right fielder. John Bowker sent him into the corner for out number 3 in the 2nd inning. Now let's see what's going on with Lincecum. Talking to the home plate umpire. Sandoval's walking off the field. Tim Welke out to see what the issue is. Got the
tongue depressor out there to clean the spikes.
Apparently you want something different. Oh, okay. He's got a little tool.
He's got a fork there, Brownie.
Yeah, he's got a fork.
I'm not familiar with that one.
No.
The old chew fork. That's something that Maxwell Smart would break that out.
Yeah. Lincecum had to leave one game against the Astros when he was hit by Brad Austin, a shot off his knee. And he was pitching a fine game on that occasion 2 years ago. Ball 1 to Tolles. There have been 28 million plus fans to see the 10 years of baseball here at Minute Maid Park. Off-speed pitch dips inside to make it a 2-ball, no strike count. Before the game, Jeff Bagwell, Craig Biggio, Larry Durker made their trips to the Astros clubhouse to wish all the Astros players good luck for the season. The skipper and coaches. 3 balls, no strikes. Special day in baseball. Game number 1. Okay, that's where the mud's coming from. He really pushes hard off that rubber with that plant foot. 3-1. That isn't a plant foot, is it? With his back foot, he pushes hard and just gets a lot of motion going toward home plate. There's another strike to make it 3-2.
Yeah, you know, it's interesting. You talk to different pitching coaches, and some talk about pushing off. Other guys talk about, well, you don't want to exert too much energy pushing off the rubber. You want to have the sensation that you're pulling away from the rubber.
One hopper to third, Sandoval. And a low throw. Huff stretches to receive it. 2 down, and Manzella's coming up. Manzella, the first Astros rookie to start at shortstop since Adam Everett back in April of 2002.
He's the guy that folks compare Tommy Manziel to.
Known as a solid glove man. He hit well last year at Round Rock in the PCL. He was the team MVP. This one backhanded by Renteria. And breezing through the 5th inning thanks to the Rowan catch. Lincecum keeps the lead 3-0 through 5. Out to be a single. Played well by the left fielder Mark DeRosa, barehanding it off the wall. 3 singles in this game off that wall and left, and now just a beautiful evening outside. 3-0 Giants. Giants have 6 singles. The Astros have 2 singles. Here's downtown Houston. Harvey Huff 1 for 2. Here's strike 1 to Huff. Travis Ishikawa played some first base for the Giants last year. He's on their roster. A good defensive player. And Buster Posey played some first base this spring. He is a catcher primarily. He made a good impression, but he's like Jason Castro in the fact that he's only had just under 2 years of pro baseball. So he's at AAA Fresno to open the season. It could be a factor later on. 1-2, and the fastball was a good one for Oswalt. Locked at 93.
Yeah, Aubrey got started real late with that swing.
Rolled out to second base. Matsui to Blum. 1 out. An amazing story that Roy, a 23rd round draft choice in '96 from Weir, Mississippi, has become the all-time percentage Houston leader among the pitchers. .662 winning percentage for his career. DeRosa walked and scored in the second, grounded back to Oswalt in the third. And looks at strike 1.
Well, the pitch count not much of an issue for Roy, but he is due to lead off the bottom half of the 6th inning, so this might be his final inning of work here. Pretty good scrum they got going.
Double figures and ground ball outs for this game, and gets a strikeout on DeRosa. That's number 2. The O's Bros are back for another season, and the Little Pumas have joined them.
Yeah, Little Pumas, they got no Puma to cheer for.
No.
He joined Roy's team for a while.
There's a Puma. along with the Wizard himself. And now Molina 1 for 2. Takes strike one over the edge. Those are the numbers on another opener, the 8th in a row pitched by Roy Oswalt. Club record. 1-2. He's 2-3 in those previous opening day starts with a 3.35 ERA. Bowker's on deck. That's off the end of the bat. A dunker into right field and a hit in front of Hunter Pence. 2-out single for Molina, who's 2 for 3.
Roy commanding that outside part in this inning. He punched out DeRosa with a good outside corner fastball, and then Molina saw one there, and then this little slider off the outside edge. It's just a bad break for Roy. Broke his bat down off the end of the bat.
Molina on. Bowker at the plate. Bowker 1 for 2. Giants had a tough time on the road last year. They were 36-45, but at home their record was 52-29. They had a 16-game turnaround from the previous year, winning 88 games. Right at the knees for strike one. They have a new hitting coach, Hensley Bam Bam Mullins. He took over for Arnie Lansford. Beautiful, slow, dazzling pitch. A curveball at 72 miles per hour, 71. And it's 1-2.
You see Bowker getting a little jelly leg there as his weight's out in front and waiting for that pitch to drift over the plate. Why not try it again?
Yeah.
And this is about the time where Brad Mills is probably wishing, boy, I wouldn't mind being in the American League right now because I don't really want to hit for Roy next inning. He really seems to have found his stride here.
Oh, just missed that inside corner. Roy was walking off on the Tim Wilkie call. It's 3-2 now with 2 outs and the runner goes.
Roy trying to influence Wilkie a little bit. That two-seamer, Roy thought it ran back to the inside corner. Wilkie thought it stayed off the plate. Bowker just thought it was hard to hit, so he took it.
Now Molina goes, and another curveball pulls the string off Bowker for strikeout number 3. Roy Oswalt pitching well. Tim Lincecum and the Giants lead at 3-0.
Against the Phillies at 6:05. Enjoy dollar hot dogs courtesy of Classic Foods, $1 Coca-Cola Classics while supplies last, and $3.50 ticket specials. Both teams will wear replica of their 1965 uniforms, and the first 10,000 fans will receive a 45th anniversary throwback jersey courtesy of AT&T. Visit Astros.com to buy your tickets tonight. Bill?
Thanks, Patty. Here's Corey Sullivan pitch hitting for Roy Oswald now with Chris Sampson warming up in the bullpen. 3-0 Giants, and there's ball one to Sullivan. 30-year-old veteran outfielder from Tulsa, Oklahoma, and Wake Forest. 1 ball, 1 strike. He signed in January as a non-roster player going to spring training and made the club with a solid spring. He came off the bench. We were joking about it around the cage Friday night in the game here against the Blue Jays. Popped up a bunt and wound up with a double as it went over the first baseman's head into shallow right field.
Smart hitter.
Yeah. He said, I might try to do that sometime. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Harvey Huff has moved back on him with 2 strikes in the count.
Ooh, that was nasty.
Yeah. Changeup for strikeout number 5.
Some changeups float. That thing just darted. Watch the movement on this thing. You want to be a big league hitter. Sitting on that 95-mile-an-hour gas, and you have to contend with that.
And Michael Bourne showing bunt. Takes a strike. He's 0 for 2. Roy Oswald leaving the game after 6 innings. Allowing 7 hits, 3 runs. He had 2 walks and struck out 3 through 87 pitches. Smashed into center, low bridging Lincecum. And Bourne gets the Astros' 3rd hit.
Real quiet lower body. Keeps that backside planted, and then a flick of the wrist.
Now Bourne, a stolen base champion in the National League last year, aboard for Matsui. Matsui's 0 for 2, strikeout and a bouncer back to the pitcher.
Down 3 in the middle innings, you don't typically think of as a running situation. I think anytime Michael Bourne is on, you consider it a running situation. And again, with a guy like Lincecum who's so hard to hit, you just scrap for a run here, a run there.
Last year there were 25 stolen base attempts against him. And last year Bourne had 61. Kobe Ellsbury of Boston led the majors. Bourne led the National League. Won the Cool Papa Bell Award.
He was so fast you could turn off the lights and get under the covers before the room got dark.
Did you ever hear another version of that story that it actually might have been true?
Greg Lucas tells that tale, yes.
Okay.
About the way the old-fashioned lights used to go off.
Yeah.
Well, kind of like, you remember your TV, you turn your TV off and they'd have that white dot before it finally go out?
Yeah. There might have been a short in the light switch that caused the light to flicker for a few seconds before it did go out. So maybe he did beat the light going out.
And I think it was Cool Papa Bell about whom Satchel Paige said he hit a line drive up the middle and it hit him in the back when he slid into second base.
So maybe the legend is there with some truth, Greg.
That's why they had so many great stories from the leagues that nobody could verify.
Yeah. Stats are hard to verify. The stories are fun to listen to, though. And now the count is 2-0.
Yeah, that's the problem with all this internet and all this data. It's harder to lie. It's harder to make things up. People are tracking down people pursue the truth. They call you on it.
Hunter Pence is on deck as the Astros try to stir up trouble for Lincecum. He darts the fastball into the zone for a 2-1 count. Lincecum has no walks tonight.
This wouldn't be a bad idea. 2-1 count here to put Bourne in motion and give Matsui the freedom to swing if he wants. A little run and hit.
Line shot right field. Bourne to second base. Back-to-back hits for the Astros for the first time.
With Lance Berkman on the DL, a little extra pressure falls on the shoulders of the other guys in the middle of the order. Hunter Pence, obviously one of them, and Hunter 0 for 2 with 2 punch-outs tonight, so big opportunity for redemption here. Never mind the running or the hit and running or the bunt and run or anything else. Just stay put, and Matsui delivers a line drive single.
So Hunter from Fort Worth, Astros second-round draft choice in 04, who's really converted a lot of fans during his 3 years in the big leagues, has a chance to turn this crowd around tonight.
Breeze is helping. The crowd has mostly been quieted by Lincecum, but boy, Hunter could turn that around. If he were to pop one here, this place would explode.
Grounder slowly hits Sandoval over to Huff. 2 outs, Bourne to third, Matsui to second. And it's Carlos Lee. Lee singled off the left field wall in the 4th after popping to second. Jeff Blum on deck. 81 pitches for Lincecum, 57 strikes. Lee's a .308 career hitter against the Giants. Lincecum still working that mud in his spikes. Only one Astro, Moises Alou, has driven in more runs in his first 3 years with the Astros than Carlos Lee. Lincecum working on a shutout. Ball 1 to Lee.
I think this is where a hitter, and Carlos is a very smart hitter, this is where you've got to fight the temptation to be a hero. Just take advantage of whatever it is Lincecum gives you. Don't try to jerk a fastball that's down and away out of the ballpark.
Well, a single to right field should make it 3-2. 2 balls, no strikes. 2 speedy runners aboard. Lee making his 11th opening day start. In the air, and Sandoval's calling for it behind third, up the line, and on a foul pop. That ends the 6th inning with no runs, a couple of hits, 2 men left after 6, 3-0 Giants. Park, the fans engrossed in this 3-0 ball game here with the Giants leading. This call to the bullpen is being brought to you by Verizon Wireless, as they may be dialing somewhere to find out about something. But Chris Sampson takes over now in the 7th inning here.
Solid effort by Roy Oswalt tonight. He's on the wrong end of this one right now. Boy, Roy had a ton of no decisions last year. He'd love to get one tonight. Chris Sampson, his job to come in there and keep the Giants right where they're at. Last year worked 49 times, 4-2, 5.04 ERA. Very good early and then faltered in the second half, ultimately being demoted to AAA. Chris had a good spring. Giants will see plenty of sinkers and sliders. A new changeup that Chris is breaking out this year as well, perhaps. There's the sinker.
Uribe takes it for strike one. Uribe with a productive night, a sac fly and a single. Pitcher spot due up next for the Giants.
Ooh, that's a power single.
Yes, it was. 0-2. Sampson can get loose quickly. 31-year-old veteran. One and two. Yeah, he really likes that new changeup you were talking about. Threw a couple of them Saturday, he said. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Chris and some of his buddies opened the Lone Star Baseball Academy here in Houston over the winter. Working with youngsters on perfecting their baseball skills. They had him off balance. A leaning swing will go into the seats.
That would have been the changeup right there. One of the ones that was off speed and had him out on the front foot. Oh, so Chris opened up a baseball academy. Roy Oswald opened up a steakhouse back at home in Mississippi.
That's right. Lined over shortstop toward left center. Michael Bourne hurrying over. Uribe is held to a single.
Big league hitters are nothing if not opportunistic. Chris made a lot of real good pitches in that sequence, then made one mistake. A fastball that was up. And Chris is not a guy who's going to pitch up effectively very often. Every now and then for show, but this ball set it down in a way where Tolles is set up is up. Outer third, but about thigh high.
And Lincecum around a bunt, puts one down. Plum to Matsui, 1 out. Second sacrifice of the night for the Giant pitcher.
He might be leading the league in that category, Browning. Look that up.
Very comfortable here now. A little cloud cover above. Good weather expected tomorrow night. Perhaps some rain Wednesday. Wednesday's a 1:05 start. Oh, this field looks beautiful. Dan Bergstrom and his grounds crew have done a wonderful job this year. Aaron Rowan 0 for 3. 2 grounders to short and a strikeout for Rowan, but he made a nice catch in center field on Feliz. There's strike one. Alberto Arias, one of the Astros' dependable bullpen crew members from last year, opens the season on the disabled list. Yorman Bizzardo also disabled along with Lance Berkman. Those are the 3 Astros on the DL, and Freddie Sanchez is on the disabled list for the Giants, not expected back until about the end of the month after shoulder surgery. 1-1 also Fred Lewis and Emmanuel Burris on the Giants disabled list. Giants have really played some of their best baseball in this ballpark. 23-12 is their record at Minute Maid Park. Grounded foul. 1-2.
Got any theories, Brown?
No.
Why the Giants play well?
No, I don't. How about you?
No.
Oh, a fellow named Bonds used to mash the ball here. That helped him out. It's been a few years, though, since that's happened.
Left field's kind of been a revolving door for the Giants since Barry Bonds left. Mark DeRosa gets that job this season.
Oh, I wonder where they got that.
Yeah, old school with the headband.
Tap slowly to short. Manzella hurries and throws it onto Blum. Stretches in time for the second out.
And Manzella rock solid tonight. Handling every chance he's had. Third time Rowan has tried him.
Had to make that transfer well to get the out there, JD.
Yeah, he seems coming hard. To come hard but under control. He's tall for a shortstop, kind of rangy, long legs. May look a little unorthodox at times, but gets it done.
Renteria has a walk and a single tonight. This one headed for left center field. That'll make it 4-0 as he shoots the gap. One hops the wall. Scoring Uribe for a 4-run Giant lead, and that's the first extra base hit of this game, a double for Renteria.
Renteria's had a nice long career. For 2,000 hits. Not a Hall of Famer, but a Hall of really good.
That's 9 hits for San Francisco now to 4 for Houston. Sandoval's 1 for 3. He's singled to left field in the third. Big cut at the breaking ball, or strike one. Adam Wainwright said he threw him a curveball about 58 feet. And he said, I'm convinced it would have bounced in front of the plate and hit a bullet line drive.
Yeah, you got a base open here. You might be thinking about pitching around him. If you're going to pitch around him, you've got to pitch way around him. Like, Tejada or Vladimir Guerrero, those guys, see if he'll chase a pitch off the plate. Well, he may hit it off the fence.
Wainwright said he's one of those guys who doesn't just think they can hit everything. They know they can hit everything. And not only hit for batting average, but he had a .556 slugging percentage last year. Chases the breaking ball down low, tolls with the block, and the throw to complete the strikeout from 2-3. Texas native Jack Ingram, who sang the national anthem, will sing for us here in the middle of the 7th inning after the Giants get a run on 2 hits and strand a man. As we join Patty Smith.
Well, thank you so much, Bill. And during the 7th inning stretch, Jack Ingram just sang God Bless America, and you did a fabulous job as well. You did the national anthem. It's something you've done here before, and really the fans seem to just be thoroughly impressed with your job.
Well, I think all I ever want to do is not forget the words. Then you look up, you're doing God Bless America, and you see President Bush. It's like, oh, no pressure, bud. Just get through it.
But you've done it before. You were telling me you've done it at some other venues and everything. But you grew up here in Houston, an Astros fan?
I did. I grew up an Astros fan going to, in fact, they asked me what number I wanted. Last year I got Nolan Ryan's number, 34, on my jersey they gave me with my Ingram on the back. And this year I got J.R. Richards, number 50. So, yeah, I grew up going to see those guys play when I was a kid.
And I think I saw it signed. Who signed it for you?
Bergman. Lance came up after the anthem and said congratulations and how you doing and whatever. And I'm a huge fan of his, obviously, also. And so I asked, I'm going to give this jersey to my kid who I brought with me, Eli. And so I got him to sign it.
All right, well, you did an awesome job. Thanks so much.
Thank you very much.
All right, guys.
Pop fly caught by Sandoval off the bat of Jeff Blum here in the bottom of the 7th inning. And that is out number 1 for Tim Lincecum, cruising along with this 4-0 lead. And it'll be Pedro Feliz batting next. Feliz single to left and then hit that fly ball caught by Aaron Rowan in left center field.
The Astros have not had many chances against Lincecum here this evening. Haven't had many good swings at him. Their best chance coming last inning, a couple aboard, and he was able to get the ground ball off the bat of Hunter, and then Carlos finished him off to end the inning.
So Burdack warming up for Houston. Strike 1 to Feliz.
The good news is that it's likely as Lincecum's last inning.
Feliz looks at that one upstairs for a 1-ball, 1-strike count. Jack Ingram was mentioning J.R. Richard, who in 1971 struck out 15 Giants in his debut to tie the Major League record for a debut. So a suitable number for him to acquire. He's really adding to the list of Astros notables in those jerseys he has.
Where do you go after you punch out 15 guys in your debut? It's kind of tough to improve on that, isn't it?
Isn't it? Yeah. That's a strike call to make it a 2-ball, 2-strike count on Pedro Feliz. Number 7 has been retired, as you're well aware, by the Astros. So Pedro selected number 77. Just saw Craig Biggio out in the hallway between innings. And strikeout there for out number 2. Strikeout number 6. Time for our Jack in the Box standings now. The highest batting average last season by National League outfielders. The Mets outfielders hit 288, not with a lot of pop. The Astros 287, and the Dodgers tied that figure with the Phillies outfielders, combining for a 277 batting average. J.R. Tolles the batter. Lincecum bounces ball 1. Lincecum had 94 pitches for the game. It's 1-1.
Tim Welke showing a little generosity on that outside corner. I don't know if he's been doing it all night. I noticed it more from the middle innings on. Just a matter of the pitchers kept pounding away out there, finally convinced them to call it, or if they just weren't able to take advantage of it and didn't throw enough pitches out there early in the game. Dave Righetti, the pitching coach for the Giants.
It's 2-2. Madison Bumgarner, the young lefty, 20 years old, drafted in the first round about 3 years ago by the Giants, is thought to be on the way but did not have a good spring, so he'll open the season at AAA. Maybe will arrive later on to help the Giants if needed. Dave Righetti was talking about that before the game tonight, the search for those extra starting pitchers that every major league club will need after the opening 5. Might not need any more pitchers than the one they've used tonight. Lincecum is dynamic tonight, and he leads 4-0 in the 7th. the Astros have turned. Roy Oswald on the mound in the third inning. There's a 4-6-3 off the bat of Aubrey Huff. And then in the fifth inning, it was Sandoval. Back to Roy. The lead toss to Tommy Manzella. A 1-6-3 twin killing for the Astros. But the Giants lead it 4-0 here at Minute Maid Park. And we move to inning number 8 with lefty Tim Burdack coming out of the Astros bullpen. With 76 appearances under his belt last year, JD.
Yeah, he's been a busy man since putting on an Astro uniform last year, appearing in about half the games. Win a couple of losses and a good ERA.
Aubrey Huff with a foul ball, strike one. Huff is 1 for 3.
Tim is the only left-handed reliever in the bullpen for the Astros these days. Wesley Wright working down for the AAA club.
Jam-packed ballpark, 43,836 the paid attendance tonight. That includes standing room only. Opening week. It has started after all the months of anticipation. 0-2 to Huff.
Yeah, it's fun to be at the ballpark on opening day. Everybody has a bounce in their step. People wishing everybody Happy New Year.
Yeah.
Happy opening day.
And happy Easter yesterday, so there's a lot of happiness.
Like a holiday for baseball fans, opening day.
Creighton McClain, always upbeat, but especially on a night like this, it's easy to enjoy. Tillman Fertitta alongside there. Those diamond level seats. Pleasant evening. Fly ball up the right field line brings Hunter Pence over. For out number 1. Chris Sampson in one inning allowed 2 hits, 1 run, with no walks and a strikeout. Mark DeRosa walked and scored in the 3-run Giant second. He's grounded out and struck out looking since then. As you mentioned, with Burdack being the only southpaw in the bullpen, he's probably due for a lot more appearances, just as he had last year with 76. Strike one to DeRosa. Nice thing about signing a guy like DeRosa is he does not have to be limited to only one position on the field. If injuries crop up, he could be moved. Fly ball to right, backs up Hunter Pence. He's checking the wall, and that one reaches the seats. An opposite field long ball for Mark DeRosa. And it's 5-0 Giants.
A lot of peer pressure there. I'm to throw it back.
That's DeRosa's 12th career home run against the Astros.
You know, we talked earlier about the wind blowing out to the left field. That one carried pretty well to right, too. He's just a good hitter.
Well, the first long ball by a Giant comes from a brand new Giant. And now Molina follows. Molina 2 for 3 with an RBI. That's 10 hits for San Francisco, and the Giants, who were 23-12 in the Cactus League, finishing second place out there in Arizona. Off to a nice start when the games count. 2 balls, no strikes. Arizona beat San Diego in another NL West matchup, 6-3. D-backs won that game behind Dan Herron. Maybe John Garland. Matsui to his right. 2 outs. The NL West, I think it was Dave Righetti said that he was thinking the NL West teams won more games than any other division last year in the National League. And that sounds like it could be true. Bruce Bochy's club showing that huge improvement over the year before. 16 more wins. And that got everybody excited around San Francisco that maybe this could be the year they go back to the playoffs. But a lot of people like the Rockies.
Well, you make a move like they made last year. It's pretty rare to improve by that much, so you'd almost anticipate a little bit of a drop-off. But, you know, they have picked up some new players. And they're probably thinking, hey, if we just get 3 or 4 games better, we win 92, that usually is good enough to at least claim a wild card.
Mm-hmm. No balls, 2 strikes. Some people think the Dodgers have taken a step backwards a little bit since last year. General manager's Brian Sabean of the Giants. He thinks his team really needs to surge out of the gate. And that's out number 3 to end the top of the 8th inning. Giants 5, Astros nothing.
On. Sounds like a lot of fun. Why don't you check out Astros.com and pick up your tickets?
Well, these fans are hoping that the Giants' defensive moves do not pay off. Nate Shearholz is the right fielder now, taking over there for John Balker. Travis Ishikawa is the new first baseman, replacing Aubrey Huff. And there's a new pitcher as well. Reliever Sergio Romo comes in after 45 games last year. He had a 5-2 record and a 3.97 ERA. And he faces Tommy Manzella. Jeff Keppinger's on deck to pinch hit for the pitcher, Tim Burdack. There's strike 1.
Slings it up there pretty good. Romo from the right side, Jeremy Affeldt from the left side will primarily serve as the setup guys for Brian Wilson, the closer.
Romo from Brawley, California, 27 years old. Brings the slider up there for a strike, and it's 0-2. Tim Lincecum had another spectacular night. 7 innings, 4 hits, no runs, no walks, 7 strikeouts. Coming into this game, he had a 2-0 career record against Houston with a 1.67 ERA and lowered it. That slider goes outside and on appeal to the first base umpire, Tim Timmons. There was no swing. Another great night against the Astros for Lincecum.
Like somebody out of a Harry Potter movie or something.
Yeah. He pitches like somebody out of a movie.
Dropping a little wizardry on the Astro hitters here tonight.
Wow. That was spectacular stuff.
Right.
Rocket up the middle. A nice line shot for Manzella's first hit of the season. And the number 8 man gets something started with Jeff Keppinger pinch hitting now for Tim Burdack.
He's made all the plays at short tonight. Now he has a knock to go with it. A game he will never forget.
Manzella got his first major league hit last year. That was an infield hit. That was a nice liner. And now Keppinger for Burdack. Burdack in 1 inning, allowing 1 hit, 1 run. No walks, no strikeouts. 256 for Jeff. 7 homers, 29 runs batted in last season. And he's changed his uniform number from 28 to 8 now. There's strike 1.
Why do you do that, Brownie?
I don't know for sure, but he said he feels a lot lighter.
Yeah. He looks a little quicker. He looks
single digit.
Yeah.
Well, the number 8, worn so proudly by Joe Morgan for the Cincinnati Reds, retired, as you know, many years ago. But Joe Morgan is here broadcasting tonight, former Astro. No balls, 2 strikes to Keppinger. There's Joe. Always good to welcome him back. And he's here with John Miller, who will be going into the Hall of Fame as the Ford Frick Award winner for broadcasting. Good stop by Molina. A slider that bounced. 1-2.
And Romo's got one of those sweeping sliders. We talk a lot about pitchers getting tilt on the slider. Because of his arm angle, it's difficult for him to get tilt on it. It's kind of a low 3/4 delivery, so it might not have as much downward break, but it's a good sweeping slider. Starts at the middle of the plate and has a break off the outside edge.
This is his first ever opening day in the major leagues. That's in the air to right center, and Rowan is underneath. 1 down for the Astros, who trail 5-0, and hope that now the top of the order could get something rolling with Michael Bourne. Had a good swing back in the 6th inning. The sharp single up the middle. He's 1 for 3. But only 5 singles have come Houston's way. No walks. It's been a struggle for the hitters tonight against the frontline pitching of Tim Lincecum. Totally different sort of pitcher goes for the Giants tomorrow night, but a former Cy Young Award winner himself in Barry Zito.
Ended up having a pretty good second half last year, too, Barry Zito. So he's got things pointed in the right direction.
Matsui's on deck. Sandoval in on the grass at third. Fouls it away, 1-1. Romo, who's really established himself in that late inning spot, setting it up for Brian Wilson, who's one of the top closers around. Jeremy Affeldt, the lefty, also can be used in late inning setup assignments, even against right-handed hitters. He's effective. It's 1-2 as that slider catches the inside part of the plate. Michael Bourne, after all that improvement you talked about last season, trying to build on that this time around. Michael, the team MVP of the Astros a year ago, drove in 35 runs. His main assignment was to score runs, and he did that very well. In the dirt, another good stop by Molina. And it's 2-2.
Albeit a somewhat panicky one.
Yeah.
I'm not quite sure where that was.
Might have hit the umpire. Let's see. Nope.
Not going to be too risky on the bases here, down 5.
New first base coach Bobby Meacham, former Yankees shortstop. New bullpen coach Jamie Quirk this year. Romo, did he think that was a third out? He came sprinting off the mound.
He was all fired up there.
Yes, he was fired up. That's only out number 2. And now it's Matsui.
You might hear about that in Kangaroo Court.
Pretty good chance. Yeah, hold on.
That's
Sergio.
a sinking feeling right there. You're about 2 steps away from the chalk line and go, hey, nobody's coming with me. I'm on my own here. Okay. All right. How am I going to look cool here? What am I going to do? How am I going to get back up there?
Well, Sandoval came over from third. There's Righetti with a smile, and Molina, the catcher, helping him to regroup at the mound. Now Matsui. Matsui's 1 for 3. He lined a single to right field in the 6th inning. Hunter Pence on deck. And it's ball 1. So what do you think of the NL West? Do you like the Rockies to win it?
Well, I haven't really broken it down yet, Brownie. I like the Rockies. I like this club. I like their pitching.
Liner to center, and that sneaks through. And here goes a runner from first to third, Manzella. So the Astros get a runner to third for only the second time tonight on Matsui's second hit.
Astros still with a fighting chance. They've got 4 outs to play with. At the middle of the order due up here. This one off the end of the bat. Put in a good spot. I don't know. I think the West could be a very competitive division this year. I think the Rockies, the Dodgers, and the Giants, if any one of those 3 clubs won or claimed the wild card, I would not be surprised. And I think Arizona's maybe a little bit better than a lot of folks think.
Yes.
If the Padres were in contention, I'd be really surprised by that.
That's 6 hits for the Astros, all singles. Hunter Pence is 0 for 3. Carlos Lee on deck. Strike 1 to Pence.
It's a little bit of a danger zone for Romo there against Pence. He likes to throw that slider away, and that could be a problem pitch for Hunter. But when you leave it on the inner third like that, you're asking for trouble.
Romo faced the Astros once last year. He brings it in for strike 2.
Not seeing that one very well.
286 with 2 outs and men in scoring position. And fighting for some contact here at 0-2. And a drop down slider. Fouled away. Hunter just trying to protect there.
That spoiled a pretty tough pitch.
Yeah, he did.
Now Molina, the veteran catcher, might be thinking, boy, showing him that slider well off the plate and he lunged for it. We probably have him set up to get him inside. So this is where you kind of, as a catcher, you start to think about, well, what do you think you have this hitter set up for? But what is the hitter's primary weakness and which way do I go?
Popped up. Ishikawa in foul territory to end the Astros 8th with no runs, 2 hits, 2 men stranded, 5-0 Giants. Birth dates on them. Colin Powell.
No. Frank Gorshin, the Riddler. Oh, man.
Oh, yeah.
MB Davis, she was on Brady Bunch. She played Alice.
Okay.
And Franz Foer was a famous German cartoonist.
You're very knowledgeable about the birthday list. Happy birthday to one and all.
Happy opening day, all you birthday people. And a shout out to my good buddy Matt Hudis and Tom and Kathy. They're watching back in Virginia tonight, Brownie.
Well, that means they're watching Sammy Hervasio come in, and he's going to be interesting for them to watch the way he holds that baseball up, and we'll get a shot of that, JD.
Yeah, fans are going to love Sammy. It's got a little bit of him last year when he was called up, but he's kind of taking it to another level this year. He's like got a little Lima time working. Style points. There it is.
Okay, you see this?
A little sneak attack. There's the ball.
I try to hit it. Juan Uribe takes strike one.
And he's kind of like Romo of the Giants with that sidearm delivery. Sammy actually a little bit lower than Romo. Same sweeping slider. There it is.
And then he drifts off toward the first base dugout, but somehow he's able to maintain his command of the pitch, JD.
Yeah, that's one of those, if it's not broke, don't fix it kind of deals. Because you wouldn't teach any of this what he's doing. You the little thing at the start, the way he falls towards first base. But, when you keep getting people out, you just leave them alone.
Well, he had an excellent spring, and there's a good start to the season.
Yeah, it's fun. It's fun, and he's good.
He hit the spot, striking out Uribe. Now, Nate Shearholz, the right fielder, entered the game in a double switch. He's batting ninth. And going into spring training, it seemed that he would have this opening day start, but things didn't work out because Bowker outplayed him. Shearholz admitted that in one story. But Shearholz is viewed as an excellent defensive player, and he'll probably get his chances. 5 homers, 29 RBIs last year, and a .267 average.
These guys are cracking up over Sammy.
Yeah. They're liking that.
What do we got here?
It's 2 balls, no strikes. Yeah, they're all eyes. As Aubrey Huff, who was the starting first baseman, watches at the rail. Shearholz fouls it. And Feliz giving chase, can't quite get to it. Shearholz a second-round pick in 03. And they're liking it over there. Was that the pitcher Romo who came up and did that?
Yeah, I think they're imitating him over there.
Yeah. Well, they haven't had a chance to see this because they didn't see him in spring training.
Yeah, and I don't know. He kind of looks over. I'm not sure if he's looking in the dugout, above the dugout, or if he's just looking in a direction but really can't see. But if I were in the other dugout, I'd be really tempted to get a big piece of poster board and write "Hi, Sammy" on it when he looks over. Just kind of.
Well, maybe this is just his way of trying to lock in the concentration, diverting his attention for a moment before he locks it in. Roll to first base. Blum with a play, 2 outs. Whatever works.
Yeah. Oh, and just you get a lot of airtime on the highlight shows too.
Well, he'll get some airtime if he continues what he did last year and then this spring when he had very good spring training numbers. Aaron Rowan's the batter now. Hervasio this spring was in 10 games. He had a 1-0 record, a 1.38 ERA, gave up 5 hits in 13 innings with 3 walks and 16 strikeouts using this style.
See, last year it was the toe tap.
Yeah.
Remember, as he would come set, he'd be tapping that front toe.
Yeah. So, wonder what happened to that. He just kind of moves his foot a little bit. 0-2 as he keeps the ball away from these right-handed hitters.
He did a little double there. Last year he had a lot of stuff going on with that front foot.
Yes, he did.
Carlos Marmol does a little thing with the ball, too. This is more exaggerated. It's a little combo platter of Marmol and Mike Fetters and a little Lima thrown in there.
Yeah, Mike Fetters, yeah. And he gets a fastball by Rowan and has a very good ninth inning. Sammy Hervasio getting off to a nice start in 2010. It's 5-0 Giants. Swing it! By your Houston Metro Ford dealer, by the Progressive Insurance Group, and by Southwest Airlines. Some 43,836 that paid attendance tonight at Minute Maid Park. They have seen the Giants build a 5-0 lead, out hitting the Astros 10-6 through 8.5. And now going to the bottom of the ninth inning, it's Brandon Metters to do the pitching, the 30-year-old right-hander who was 5-1 last year with a 3.01 ERA.
Yeah. His first year last season in a Giant uniform after 3 or 4 with the Arizona Diamondbacks. Did not have a particularly good spring, but solid numbers last season for San Francisco.
Carlos Lee is 1 for 3, taking ball 1. Sergio Romo in 1 inning allowed 2 hits, no runs, with no walks, 1 strikeout. Giant pitching staff has held the Astros to 6 singles, no walks, 8 strikeouts. 1-1. The Astros were blanked 13 times last year. Blum is on deck. Feliz due to bat third here in the last of the ninth inning. Mark Burley of the White Sox went 7 shutout innings in a 5-0 win over Cleveland. In the hole, Renteria off balance throw, and the stretch by Ishikawa. He can't hold it. That was spectacular by Renteria, who wound up in foul territory. Ishikawa unable to dig it. It's a hit.
And if Ishikawa hangs on, they would have had Carlos. Renteria makes a heck of a play here. Ishikawa just not able to secure the ball. Carlos kind of lost his line there as he was watching Renteria make the play.
That's Jeff Blum batting. He's 0 for 3. Slow breaking ball for Metters at 70 miles per hour. Strike 1. This is Metters' 5th opening day in the big leagues. He made 61 Giants appearances last year. Came up with Arizona.
Fastball right at 90 miles an hour. Curveball, cutter, and a fosh. He throws a fosh, like a hybrid forkball, changeup kind of thing.
Blum hits a foul ball, and it's 1-2. The beginning of a marathon. 161 games to go after this one. Astros 23-25 in opening day games.
Yeah, you know, and everybody gets so excited about opening day. So when you win on opening day, you're a little overly excited, and when you lose, you're a little extra depressed. Just get all worked up about the event. People will be very distraught in the talk shows tomorrow. And if the Astros were to miraculously come back and win, then there would be folks thinking, this club is going to go 162-0.
Line up the right field line. Carlos Lee will get to third at least. Shearholz digs it out of the corner. Stop sign for Lee on a double by Blum, and that's the first Houston extra base hit. Second and third, nobody out for Pedro Feliz.
Trying to go backdoor breaking ball, and that's just a hanger. Just kind of hovered there, and Blummer jumped all over it.
Pitching coach Dave Righetti. Brian Wilson had an excellent season as the closer last year.
Yeah, and you know, kind of the game within the game. And Astro hitters aren't really thinking this. They're just trying to get hits and score runs. But I think if you're Brad Mills, you're thinking, well, it'd be good to at least get Wilson into this game. And normally you don't want to see the other team's closer. That means bad things are happening. But, you know, it could prove valuable if somebody gets in that bat or two. You see Wilson a little bit here tonight. That's some sense of what he does. You know, I don't think there's many secrets. He's just a real hard thrower. But especially when you're playing a team outside of your division that you don't get a lot of looks at. Could be some value in somebody having an at-bat late against them in a game like this.
Well, Feliz 4 for 7 against Metters. As runners at second and third, nobody out. Infield back. This one goes to shortstop, and Lee coming home, and Torria for the out. It's 5-1 now, and Feliz picks up the first Houston RBI of the season.
See? That's opening day optimism right there. People jacked about that run.
They've been waiting all night for a chance to applaud a Houston run. And now J.R. Tolles is the batter. Last year, the Astros lost the opener to the Cubs 4-2. The year before, they were shut out by San Diego 4-0. The year before that, they lost to Pittsburgh 4-2. So in recent years, not scoring much on opening day, and then they won a 1-0 game in 2006 in the opener over Florida. Strike one to Tolles. That makes it 1-1. You have to go back to 2004 for the last time the Astros scored more than 3 runs in an opener.
If I'm Roy, I might turn that assignment down next year.
1-2. Roy Oswalt allowed 3 runs in 6 innings. Tim Lincecum 7 innings, a 4-hit shutout ball against him. Tolles gets a foul ball. And Manzella on deck, and then the pitcher's spot.
Corey Sullivan has already been used as a pinch hitter, so has Jeff Keppinger.
That's a liner, hit well to left field, and that is in for extra bases. Run number 2 comes home. RBI double, J.R. Tolles. Three hits in the inning for the Astros.
Brian Wilson time now. This coach doesn't want this to go any further. He's going to bring in his closer.
Tolles makes it 5-2. Scoring Blum, and now Manzella. Jason Michaels out to the on-deck circle.
Yeah, Metters is throwing a lot of flat breaking balls. And flat breaking balls tend to get hit hard.
Steve Sparks and myself with Astros Live, but that's after the Astros come up with 4 more runs here in the 9th, Brownie.
Oh, that would be a good lead-in for you guys.
Strong call right there by Kevin.
Kevin Eschenfelder putting it all on the line on opening night. And Wyatt Wilson is in. And Tommy Manzella batting. Manzella 1 for 3. Runner at second base, Coles, 1 out. A 3-run lead, giving Wilson a save opportunity here.
Mostly heaters from Wilson. That one 97 miles an hour. Fastball, occasional slider. And usually just coming right at you with the good hard stuff. Doesn't try to trick you very often.
Wilson was an all-star in 08. Had 41 saves in 08. 38 more last year. No balls, 2 strikes with Jason Michaels on deck.
5 and 6. He did fail 7 times trying to hold leads. Yeah, right in the second half is about $1.50. They really turned it on late.
Very good strikeout numbers. 83 strikeouts in 72 and 3rd innings last year.
There's a slider.
0-2, Brian Wilson, born in New Hampshire. Drafted low, 24th round in 03, 28 years old now. Had Tommy John surgery in 03, and he's come back strong from that. He enjoys watching kickboxing and martial arts. Manzella on appeal to first, went around. And that's out number 2.
Tommy was thinking about asking for an appeal, but it looked like he did go a little too far there. Peeking down, saying, no, don't do it to me.
Now the Astros are down to their final out, and they call on pinch hitter Jason Michaels. 226 last year as a pinch hitter with 4 runs batted in. Michaels hit 277 in spring training this year with a couple of homers, driving in 8.
The Astros a little bit lopsided on the bench tonight. They had just the one left-handed bat, Corey Sullivan, and he was used back in the 6th inning off Lincecum. So it would have been nice to have one more left-handed bat available. Might have been inclined to hit for Tommy there against this nasty right-hander.
Oh boy,
hit that one. 98.
Wow.
At the knees. Probably just a little bit off that outside edge.
If he's going to get that call, it's a rough night for a lot of hitters.
Yeah, how willing are you to dive to cover that outside corner for the guy that throws 98 miles an hour? Fox Tracks thought it was away. I tend to concur.
Roll to the right side, Uribe throwing to Ishikawa, and the Giants have beaten the Astros 5-2 to claim this opener. Giants now 7-1 against the Astros in opening day games. They are 24-12 now at Minute Maid Park. Tim Lincecum gets the win, beating Roy Oswalt. The final score is San Francisco 5 and Houston 2. Our next Astros telecast comes tomorrow night. Giants and Astros again. Our coverage begins with Astros Live, presented by Ford at 6:30 p.m. Stay tuned next for Astros Live postgame. You've been watching Astros baseball on Fox Sports Houston.